Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the D.R.O Show! We're going to start with DJ Premier. DJ Premier of Gang Starr. Rest in peace to Guru. DJ Premier is probably my favorite producer of all time. He's from Texas, but he pretty much gave New York that sound, that landscape, the drum track, the boom bap. You know what I mean? Any artist who's ever came out of New York or was looking for that New York crossover sound, they went to DJ Premier. You know, he had an amazing catalog with Gang Starr when him and Guru was rocking together. He's had an amazing catalog with Royce the 5'9" with all the Prime projects. You know what I mean? Him implementing the scratching and adding the DJ element into what he does is just epic. And when I think about New York and I think about the New York rap sound and the rap scene, he is, in my opinion, the focal point as far as production. Anybody who's came through New York City or wanted that sound, they went to Premier. And it's crazy to me because Premier's not originally from New York. You know, he's been there long enough to rep it and claim it and be known for it, but he's actually from Texas. You know? But that just goes to show you that the true essence of hip-hop, it's everywhere. You know, he produced the record for Devin the Dude, the Doobie Ashtray joint, which is banging, by the way. Shout out to all my smokers, USA, you know who you are. But he produced that record and I was kind of shocked, like, damn. I mean, I knew it was from Texas, but I'm listening to it, I'm like, this almost doesn't sound like a typical Premier beat, and then you go back and listen to it and like, wow. He's very versatile. You know, he's worked with hip-hop artists, but he's also did a record with Christina Aguilera. Straight up, like, it's crazy his range. You know, a lot of producers who aren't on that level just kind of stick to what they know and work with certain type of artists. But when you're a producer who can create sound landscapes for all different artists of all different genres, and you're definitely gonna make the list. Which brings me to my next producer, Dr. Dre. Come on, man, Dr. Dre. He pretty much created, I ain't gonna say like he's the only one, but he pretty much sonically gave you what the West Coast is known for as far as that production. Straight up, from everything from the Chronic to Doggy Style to the Dog Pounds album to all the production he did for M. I mean, it's Dr. Dre, man. And it's crazy to me because, you know, I don't think people realize why he's been as successful as he's been and why he has the fortune like he does. Listen to all the shit he did in the late 80s and early 90s. Listen to the production he was doing for NWA. Listen to the production he was doing early on with D.R.O. He really, really gave you what, to me, I consider the West Coast sound. I've heard a lot of producers try to duplicate it. I've also heard a couple of producers come, you know, with their rendition of it. Shout out to DJ Quick, who recently went on a little rant or whatever about how people felt about him not getting his props and, you know, him getting his recognition for the things that he's done. And in a sick twist of way, I kind of agree with him. You know what I mean? Like, if he was behind everything that he said he's been behind and all that, I mean, you can't talk about the West Coast sound and not mention DJ Quick. You can't. But, you know, back to Dre. You know, as far as his production, the sound is like, when you hear a Dre beat, you know. You hear the synths, you hear he has a certain drum pattern that he uses, you know. It's a signature sound. You know what I mean? Moving on. Pharrell. Half of the Neptunes. Chad is still around, the Asian dude. He's still somewhere in the mix, but I guess they had a conversation and Chad said, man, I'm finna fall back. You just go ahead and do what you do and I eat on the back end, because I never see Chad, but I always see Pharrell. And Pharrell's been putting it down, the Neptunes, excuse me, been putting it down for a long time. Fun fact, their first beat that I ever heard, that I think was their first industry beat, was Looking at Me by Mace. Way back in the day. I know he came up on the Teddy Riley and Timberland and all them out of Virginia, and I mean, I must admit, I was listening to Change Clothes with him and Jay earlier, and it's a certain sound. When you hear the Neptune's beats, you know. When you hear like, can I get my frills? You know you want some more. That Snoop joint, you know it's a Neptune joint. When I heard Vato, I knew it was a Neptune joint. You get what I'm saying? They have a signature sound. Anything by the Clips, you kind of already know. And I really feel like Pharrell's production has really helped a lot of artists who, you know, I ain't gonna say they didn't have the bars. There's no disrespect to any artist that rapped on Pharrell's shit. I'm just saying, Pharrell's beats be so dope sometimes, you ain't really gotta spit much on it. You feel me? The beat will carry you. As long as you come up with a catchy hook, the beat will carry you. Side note, a song formula is 100%. 33% of it is the beat. 33% of it is the lyrics. 33% of it is your actual, you know, the bars, the ability. But that other 1%, that's the charisma. That's the talent. You feel me? And I feel like Pharrell has talent come to him and he understands song structures. So whoever he collaborates with, they come up with really good songs. Straight up. Which brings me to my next producer, The Alchemist. Yo, The Alchemist. I've been listening to The Alchemist since Mobb Deep days. I've been a fan. And to watch his evolution has been amazing. It's been amazing. He's like that producer who's known in the mainstream but loved in the underground. And I really don't feel like he's gotten the props and the recognition he rightfully deserves based on what he's doing. I heard DJ Vlad, when he was interviewing Conway, compare his production to Derringer, and I do understand the comparison. I do. Because Derringer and Alchemist both have that airy, mystical sound about their shit, but I feel like Derringer's up and coming. Alchemist is established. And there's no disrespect to Derringer. I'm actually bumping some Derringer beats right now. He's one of the illest I've heard in a long time. But as far as just the longevity of it, and as far as, damn, Alchemist be producing shit for mainstream artists, but really caters to the underground artists as well. I.e., the joint he got with Jay Electronica and Hove on JLX shit, but then the shit he's doing with Boldy James. You know what I mean? He's very versatile. I love when him and Earl get together. They actually got 2 new records on Alchemist's new project, and wow, I just feel like they complement each other so well because Earl's style is abstract. That's the best way I could describe it. And so is Alchemist's production. That's what, to me, and I said this on a previous podcast, man, Alfredo should have won the Grammy for last year. If not even for Freddie's bars, for Alchemist's production. Like, come on. Alchemist gives you that certain, that vibe, that groove. I'm willing to bet, maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong and you watch this, call me on my shit. But I'm willing to bet that he produced a joint on Conway's new joint with 2 Chainz. What, 200 Pies or something like that? And I haven't looked it up, but I know his production. I know how his shit sounds. He digs in the crates and he finds some real obscure samples and he loops them and just freaks the fuck out of them. So does Derringer.